They cover that. 3 at kick would have been a push if not for the late touchdown by Flowers. He's in the open field. If you're holding that ticket, you're saying, take it in, take it in. If you're looking for the push and you're on Chargers money, you're saying, slide, slide. It's a smart thing to do. Well, Flowers takes it all the way in 20-10. Money doesn't exchange hands, but it goes from the house into the hands of Baltimore bettors. Speaking of better.
Yes, sir.
In terms of good, better, best, not better, but let's talk about the best. This is the #1 team in the conference right now in the Baltimore Ravens. When it's all said and done, I mean, we're going to look at the schedule here in a moment. Is this the team that you think will represent that 1 seed, all roads leading through Baltimore?
Great question, Joe. I think they're in the best position as we see it now. But I don't believe they will hold on to the #1 spot.
And I think there's a lot to be said in the moments where you're not saying anything. I think it's all said right there. And what we watched in that 60 minutes of football in LA, where you get 4 turnovers, an opportunity to put the game away in multiple junctures, both first and second half. I mean, they could have put this thing out of reach in the first 30 minutes, and they did not. Is that your hesitation?
Yeah, because this was a great matchup for them to have a get-right opportunity offensively, right? The Chargers, the entire year, they've been bad on defense, especially in the secondary. So when you factor in this matchup that we thought that would be in favor of the Baltimore Ravens, especially throwing the football, it never surfaced. So that is something to be concerned about moving forward when you talk about playing against a team that has been bad defensively and you don't take advantage of those opportunities. You know what I mean? And defensively, I'm okay with the Baltimore Ravens. I have no concerns about their defense. If they stay healthy, I do believe this is a team that could definitely make life miserable for most opposing offenses. But I do have some concerns with the Ravens offense. And the major concern is who is going to be that guy that Lamar Jackson can rely on in the passing game, knowing that Mark Andrews won't be there, right? And we kind of saw some issues throwing the football tonight. They were able to weather the storm because the Chargers are a bad team.
Yeah.
But when you talk about playing good on good, these things might surface to be more of a bigger issue than they were tonight.
And I think at times the play calling was spectacular tonight, and at other times sort of made you scratch your head.
Yeah.
There was a 3rd down early in the first half where we see Harbaugh go for it on 4th down after not getting it on 3rd, and the 4th down plays a direct snap rather than putting the ball in the hands of your former MVP and franchise quarterback. And then there were things like you're talking about. This is a team you attack vertically, and they did not. Let's take a look at the schedule to see where the opportunity lies here for the Ravens moving forward because, hey, 9-3 heading into the bye.
Great.
That's a nice flight from LA back to Baltimore.
Yes.
You come up short in this one, 8-4 into the bye. This is their only game in a 23-day stretch, so important that they get the result, but not necessarily the effort that they wanted to put forward. Moving forward, you get your bye, you come out, you take on a Rams team that's got some firepower, yes, but should be one in the win column.
It's about the final 4 ball games.
Massive matchups across those final 4 because we're looking at 4 teams that will either play a massive role in the playoff picture or 3 teams that will be in that playoff picture and one that might get shoved out. I'm sorry to talk about your Steelers that way, but when you're talking Jags, Niners, Dolphins, those are playoff teams. The Steelers, I believe, are a playoff team, but there's work to be done in that regard. Who do you think shows up weeks 15 through 18 for the Baltimore Ravens? I
mean, when you talk about playing against top-level talent, I think we will see the best Baltimore Ravens team show up. Now, it starts week 14 after the bye because the Rams, they're a good sparring partner, like team. Right? You should beat them, but if you're not careful, they're going to hit you. They're going to get some licks in because they're a well-coached team and they compete.
Let's ask it this way.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the Rams and the Chargers? And
they know how to win.
Exactly. That's a better team.
And they're better coached.
So you have to put forth a better effort than you did here on Sunday night.
Now, the great thing about that matchup, they get the Rams right there in in Baltimore. So we know the Ravens at home, if you're not careful, the game will be over with by halftime, right? So that's a great luxury to have. But that's a great, test as well because I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Los Angeles Rams. This is a team that might be underhand when you look at the personnel side of things, but they're well coached, they play football the right way, and they compete. Then after that, that's where the gauntlet starts.
Put on the hard hats.
Jacksonville, 49ers, Miami, and then, of course, your rival who beat you already to end the season in the Pittsburgh Steelers, who you get at home as well. So we're going to find out a lot, not just about the Baltimore Ravens, but the entire top seeding of the AFC playoff picture after this bye with the Ravens.
You're going to have the Ravens and the Steelers with the 1 seed on the line on one side and playoffs on the line on the other. I have a hard time attaching him to this desk on that day. Brian McFadden, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, as we said, results-based. 9-3 into the bye. It's the second best 12-game start in the history of the franchise. Yes, there have been other instances of 9-3, but only one better instance in 2019, which ended in a divisional loss anyway. 9-3 en route to a Super Bowl in 2012. Could history repeat itself some 11 years later? Ravens were laying 3, so that does matter to many. Ravens up 20-10. Big touchdown for the Ravens bettors there as they go on to win by that score and sit atop the AFC with the win. The Chargers, meantime, at 4-7, adjacent to cellar dwellers. It's not good right now. Justin Herbert, 29 of 44, 217, a touchdown, and the INT, but 4 turnovers against Baltimore, and you're lucky to lose by 10, frankly. What a start here as Baltimore heads into the bye, sitting at 9-3, matches the second best start in franchise history. Multiple instances of 9-3 starts, one of which did end with a Lombardi in 2012. See if history repeats itself some 11 years later. All right, let's get you back out to the stadium. Brandon Staley following the loss.
Coach, usually you don't think of ball security as like an issue for your team today, but what was it about Baltimore that gave you guys trouble in that regard?
Yeah, that was certainly the difference in the game, and it usually is in the NFL. And when you turn the ball over 3 times and don't get any, then your chances of winning aren't very good. And especially when you're playing a team like Baltimore, it's going to be really tough. And we hung in there about as well as you could, turning it over like that, and one of them, in the red area. So just didn't play well enough, clean enough to win tonight.
How difficult is it for you, frustrating-wise? The defense played a pretty good game tonight for you guys, but offensively just wasn't the offensive team that we've seen from you guys tonight.
Yeah, we lost as a team tonight. In a game like that where it's low scoring, where it turns into a defensive game, you got to get one more stop, and that's what we needed to do at the end of the game, is just get one more stop, give Justin one more op, and we weren't able to do it. I thought our defense really competed tonight. I thought we were ready for the challenge, and I thought our guys really played at a high level for most of the game, but we didn't get it done as a team. We didn't go get the ball tonight, and that's what we needed to do on defense to win it. And offensively, we didn't take care enough of the ball to win tonight.
What kind of challenges did they present to you guys in terms of your pass protection, their pass rush? It felt like they were creating a significant amount of pressure tonight.
Yeah, they've got a lot of known rushers. They've got DBs, linebackers who can rush. They've got interior pass rush, edge rush, so they're a very complete unit. And they played the way they played all season, so there weren't any surprises out there. We just didn't execute well enough tonight.
And the hit on Justin on the sideline early, it looked like that was late. Did you get an explanation as to why that wasn't flagged?
I have no comment.
Brandon, it looked like Quinn went to the medical tent and he just came out, was on the sideline for the rest of the game. Was that just your decision, or was he not healthy enough to go back in there?
Yeah, he had an issue with his ribs, and didn't go back in the game.
Was that your decision to not? Was he not healthy enough? I'm sorry, to go back in, or were you just?
It just didn't happen. He didn't go back in the game.
And with the changes you made on defense tonight, were you comfortable with how those guys played? I think Jalen was in there, and Dean was in there. And
yeah, I thought our guys played at a high level. That team had scored 30 points 5 or 6 games in a row, and they've got 13 points there until at the very end. So our guys played at a high level tonight. They were up for the challenge. We need to build off this. But again, when it becomes a defensive game, you got to get one more stop, and we didn't do that. So we played well, but it wasn't good enough. And I think us turning the ball over tonight was the story on defense. We weren't able to get one that would get us the momentum and get us another possession. and that was the story.
Just to be clear with Quentin, this was a medical staff decision or a coach's decision?
Yeah, it wasn't that he couldn't go back in the game. It's just we didn't feel like, through the flow of the game with where he was, that it was the right thing to go back in the game.
And then just from your perspective, what happened there on the Zay touchdown at the end of the end round?
Yeah, we're just gonna, kind of get the ball back defense, and they cut back on our guy, and we had, we knew that Lamar was gonna be involved in the run game. We took away that aspect of it, and just got beat man on man, on the cutback.